Hello and welcome to the World at Temple. Tonight is our very first episode and we're happy that you can join us for it. I'm your host, Katie Bandish, and our show will explore the diverse worldwide perspectives that exist all right here at Temple. Some of you might be curious about just how global things here are at Temple. You might have classes with international students or see them around campus, but you may have never had the chance to get to know them and their cultures. In our first segment, we wanted to dive deeper into what it's like to be an international student at Temple University. So we're here with three students, Ksenia Berestecka from Ukraine, Ritik Ganwangi from India, and Aya Alkars from Kuwait. So Ksenia, tell us more about yourself.
Well, as you said, originally I'm from Kyiv, Ukraine, and I came to the United States back in 2010 when I was 17 to play Division I tennis and pursue my bachelor's in radio and television.
Oh, wow.
So I got that degree, and then I stayed at the University of Akron, which is in Ohio, and I pursued my master's in physical education and coaching. And I've decided that I'm not ready to get done with sports just yet, so I decided to get my PhD in sports psychology, which is why I ended up here at Temple University. So currently I'm a first-year PhD student in sports psychology here.
That's amazing. Now, Ritik, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Ritik Ganwani. I'm from Mumbai, which is in India. I'm a sophomore here, and my major is sport and recreation management. So it's my first year in America. I'm liking it so far. You know, it's been a good ride so far. And I'm happy to be here. It's just exciting. As an Indian student, you dream about going to America. So I'm happy to be here.
Well,
Grateful.
Awesome. And Aya, can you tell us more about yourself?
Well, as you already know, I am from Kuwait, and I came to the United States in December 2013, and in January 2014, I started my English certification program at The Ohio State University. After a year there, I moved on to Kent State University, where I did just one semester in communication studies. And after that, I transferred to Temple University to pursue a journalism degree, and I started the Generation United Nations chapter at Temple University.
That's awesome. We wanted to find out what the most common issue international students face at Temple and what Temple does to help them assimilate and overcome it. Our producer Se-Ye Fu sat down with Dr. Martin Miller, who is the Assistant Vice President of the Office of International Affairs at Temple.
Biggest issue most of our international students face when they arrive is trying to become acclimated to the city and to the university as quickly as possible in such a way that they will then have a successful academic career. We just need to make sure, and the students need to make sure, that they're able to find their way so that getting used to the place does not get in the way of their successful academic work here. And so the next question then one would ask is, how do we help them do that? I think that International Affairs works very closely with many other offices on campus to provide international students a welcoming opportunity during the first week before classes begin. So we have a long in-residence orientation program, and during that orientation program we get them used to the campus, we get them used to certain parts of Philadelphia, so that when the classes begin, that is no longer an issue for them. We also make sure that we introduce them during that week to many of the offices on campus from which they can get more assistance as they get into their academic program. So I think it's making them familiar, introducing them to people, to places, to offices, to all of the resources that they will need once they actually begin their academic career. Also, having them live together for 1 week almost before the beginning of the semester, as you might remember, gives them an opportunity to get to meet other international students, so that again, when they actually begin their classes, they're not saying, I'm lost. There are other resources, there are other students, there are faculty, there are staff, and hopefully by the end of that first week, they've become so familiar that when they begin their classes, they are ready just to go into their classes and not to worry about everything else.
Okay, Ksenia, so you told us that the first time you came to the United States was when you were 17. Now, for being such a young girl at that time, what was that experience like, coming by yourself or with family members? Elaborate on that.
Yes, I came here by myself, but I wasn't scared at all. So it was definitely a new experience for me, and I loved it. I fell in love with the country right away. But I mean, I didn't face really any challenges at the beginning, but the language barrier was definitely there.
Did you learn English here when you got here, or did you have any English back home?
Yeah, I basically learned it here. I thought I knew enough once I came here, but then as soon as I heard this American accent, I realized that I didn't speak English at all. And
Now, do other people in your country, do they speak other languages as well, or is it just strictly one language, or?
we speak, well, we used to be a part of the Soviet Union, so because of our history, we speak Russian and Ukrainian.
Okay, so you've had a little bit of, I guess, diversity with hearing different languages, but coming here, English was just like a no-go. You're like,
It's just the accent was very different. You know, in school we used to learn British English, and here it's American. So some phrases are very different. For example, I remember one time I told my teammates that my class got canceled because my teacher fell ill, and they looked at me weird. What does it mean? And then my coach explained it to them that it means the teacher got sick.
Oh my
You know, so
gosh.
certain phrases were different for me.
Okay. But since then, everything's been kind of going more smoothly.
Yes, because you communicate with people, you learn it much faster.
And has that been the best way for you to learn English, is just strictly about communication and like real world practice?
Yes, definitely. American people are very open about that, and they love when other people learn their language, so
Yeah.
they collaborate very much.
Awesome. All right, now Ritik, what has Mumbai, what comparisons do Mumbai and Philly have, or any contrasts do they have as being big cities?
So actually, it's funny you said that, because I think Mumbai is often compared to New York, actually.
Oh, really?
You know, in terms of like the lifestyle, it's like the nightlife is like pretty big, and it's like everything is, you know, in full flow. It's like constantly moving, traffic and people moving around, working. So in terms of like comparing Mumbai to Philly, I wouldn't say there's too many similarities actually. But yeah, in terms of New York to Mumbai, definitely.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you been to New York?
I've been to New York. It's beautiful.
Yeah? Do you like it better than Mumbai, or do you like...
I wouldn't say that
No?
so far, but you know, it's beautiful. It has, I mean, so many things to offer. I just, you know, the entire like Madison Square Garden. I've been to Madison Square Garden twice now, so it's
Oh, wow.
amazing.
And what has been your biggest, I guess, issue that you had to overcome coming to the United States?
I think mostly just doing things by myself. I was really pampered as a child, so you know, I was always brought up with a lot of, you know, with cooks around, and you know, it's like labor's pretty cheap in India, so you know, you have like cooks who cook your food for you, wash the dishes for you, make your bed for you. So you know,
Wow.
after coming here, I had to do everything myself, and I was like, oh man, you know, it's like I felt so, you know, can't get the word for it. Just felt so independent all of a sudden. Yeah.
So was that a good push for you then to
Definitely,
kind of be like,
definitely.
I'm sure your parents will be happy to
Definitely.
hear that. Yeah. And Aya, so you studied at Kent State University, correct?
Ohio State.
Ohio State, I'm sorry. Now, what was it like studying there versus studying at Temple? I know you only stayed there for a little bit amount of time, but what has been the comparison there?
Well, no offense to Temple, but people are a lot more friendlier in Ohio than they are in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And I do believe it's because of that Midwestern culture that America has, where people are a lot more religious and they're the be kind to your neighbor type of people. So that's about it. And I did notice that it was a very small community, almost only 200,000 people in one city, which is also compared to Philadelphia. And I come from a country which is also considered a small city. And there's like 3 million people in the same size that you would put in Philadelphia.
Oh, wow.
So it's very crowded and there's lots of people, but at the same time the infrastructure is like a lot more developed, but that's because there's a lot more funding for that.
Yeah.
Well, I can say like the infrastructure is a lot more developed. I can also say that Philadelphia might have more prospects than in other places. So that's probably the comparison I would make to literally anywhere else in the Midwest.
So, to all three of you, what has been your most unforgettable experience that you've had here at Temple University so far? Ksenia, we'll start with you.
Okay, it's actually a very good question. Well, I've been here for 6.5 years, and I think that you said the most unforgettable experience. I think it's none of my collegiate wins, it's none of my honors or none of my degrees. It's actually meeting the love of my life that happened back in August. So yeah, I met that very special person. So that's the most unforgettable moment for me.
Congratulations,
Thank
that's so
you.
amazing. And then Ritik, can you tell us a little about your...
So I knew when I was coming to America that the Sixers play here. So I'm not a fan of the Sixers, but when I heard they were playing the Cavaliers, I just had to go see it because I'm a big LeBron James fan.
Okay.
So I just grew up idolizing him and just watching him, and then I finally got to see him live. So that was just, I don't know, just
Got to
blew me
see
away.
the
I was just
king.
like a fangirl at a Justin Bieber concert. I was just like that, yeah.
That's so amazing. And then Aya, can you tell us yours?
Oh, well, last year I got the privilege and honor to intern with the City of Philadelphia's Office of Immigrants Affairs and help them plan out the first ever Philadelphia International Unity Cup, where immigrant communities can play soccer and compete against each other. And I got to walk out on the stadium
Oh my gosh.
like right after it happened, and it was empty and a little bit cool, but
That's so awesome.
it was such a great feeling because I was looking out at all these like empty seats and
Yeah.
this newly made soccer field on a baseball field. So I was like, I helped make this,
Yeah,
and
that's
that was
so
like
awesome to be a part of.
extremely unforgettable.
That's so awesome. And then one last question to wrap it up. So if there's one thing that you could tell your friends back home about what it's like studying in America or Temple specific, what would you tell them?
Oh, I'm taken aback now. What would I tell them? It's definitely interesting, and I would tell them no cheating, no plagiarism. That's what I would tell them for sure.
You know, I'd say it's worth it, you know, even if you're spending a lot of money, but you know, it's worth it because you get exposed to so many different people, so many different classes. You know, the concept of general education, which we would never do in India, but then you come and study it here, you learn about so many different things. Even though you want to concentrate on something, you're learning so many different things. So I just think, yeah, it's worth it, you know. If you have the opportunity, go ahead.
Okay. Aya?
Independence. Nobody's going to hold your hand and tell you how to do things anymore if you want to come to America. It's not like back home where your teachers and parents and your maids and cooks just do everything for you.
Yeah.
You literally have to do everything yourself.
Well, thank you so much, you guys. I really enjoy your stories and your perspectives. Temple's Dr. Miller, who deals with international students every day, has some good tips on how international students can experience American culture while studying in Temple.
Don't be afraid of being afraid. It is very common for students not to go outside of their comfort zone because they're afraid of the new. They're afraid of that which they have not been exposed to before. If they continue to stay in that mode, all they're going to do is stay around those with whom they are familiar. If they're willing to go out, if they're willing to experiment, I would think that they would have a much better experience because they're exposing themselves to new things, they're exposing themselves to challenges, and when you overcome a challenge, if it's small or if it's big, you have a feeling of success, and then you also are motivated to try yet another challenge. So staying in your room, speaking only with people who speak your own language, hanging out with people from your own country, that's not going to get you as far as becoming a courageous student. So don't be scared about being scared.
Studying in a new part of the world can be intimidating. It's like jumping into a pool for the first time. At first, it shocks you, but when you embrace it, you become acclimated and everything feels more normal. If you're an international student and you need help, you can contact Temple's Office of International Affairs by going to their website at www.temple.edu/international. It's not just international students who have to share Temple's campus with American students, but American students need to coexist with international students. When we come back, we'll see how much Temple's American students know about the international world. Welcome back. We sent a crew around Temple's campus to find out how aware Temple students are of the world outside of the United States.
Hello everyone, my name is Kaya Jones and I'm a correspondent for The World at Temple. Today we're here at the Bell Tower interviewing students on how much they know about the world and the surrounding community. Today we have with us
Brandon Study.
Shannon,
Michaela,
I'm Julian.
Sequoia,
Alyssa,
Harrison.
I'm Andrew Tarsa.
JP Fleming. Dom Scarana.
Okay, and I'm going to be asking you a few questions about the world and the surrounding community. So, have any of you ever traveled abroad?
No.
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 I have not.
Yes.
Where have you been?
Europe and
we'll say Spain.
Yes, I have traveled. I do a lot of nonprofit work in Latin America, so Peru, Costa Rica.
England,
I've been to Canada before.
Scotland, Ireland.
El Salvador.
Mexico.
I'm trying to think. Spain. There we go. There's Spain.
Which place was your favorite?
Definitely Spain because I was there for 2.5 weeks and it was like a study abroad type of program, so I had to like learn about everything.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Did you meet any students from Spain, like intertwined in your study abroad experience?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah. How about any international students from our campus?
Roommate freshman year was from he was from Vietnam, and his name was Ji Min.
Did you befriend him?
Yeah, he was actually one of my closest friends. Actually, surprisingly, I thought he would be a bad roommate because I was the only American student in the international suite in Whitehall. So it was all the rest of them was from that one place, and I was the only one there. But it was actually really cool. They loved hip hop music. We bonded really cool. It was actually really dope. So it was some of the best roommates I ever had.
I'm living with one next year.
Oh, so he's your friend?
Yeah, good friend of mine.
Okay, and where's he from?
Taiwan.
Has he taught you anything about Taiwan or maybe?
Yeah. I'm actually supposed to go over there like this summer. They have a pretty cool culture. I've learned a bit about it.
I also had international roommates. I had two my sophomore year. One of them, but the other one we were like really close. We were actually Snapchatting this morning. She moved back to Trinidad. Yeah, we became really good friends.
If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you like to go?
Right now on the horizon, I want to make it to Cambodia. Right now I'm starting a company and we're getting all of our products made in Cambodia.
What's your company sell?
Right now we're working on just one product. It's a t-shirt, but it's 100% recycled material. And it's made by ethical manufacturing with well-paid workers and stuff like that.
Egypt.
Egypt. Why Egypt?
Because I'm a secondary ed history major and ancient Egypt's cool, and that's what I want to teach.
I think Spain.
I've gotten a couple emails about Rome, so I think that'd be cool.
All right. Thank you guys.
Food is an important part of every culture. While many students love to indulge in Chinese food, most people probably do not know that food is a crucial part of their culture. So today I have Lei Zhao here with me to show us how to make some dumplings. So Lei Zhao, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
So I'm from China, Beijing, China, and I have lots of identities actually. So I am a founder of Starfish Kitchen cooking show on YouTube, and I'm also a Temple University student, major in marketing.
We have a short clip of Lei Zhao prepping and making the dumplings.
Hello everyone, I'm Lei. I'm a host of Starfish Kitchen, and I'm also a Temple University student. So today I'm gonna teach you the easiest way to make dumplings. Okay, so let's see what we need to make dumplings. 1 pound of ground pork, cabbage, and our dumpling skin, 3 pieces of garlic, 1 green onion, 1 teaspoon of salt, 3 teaspoons of soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of our sesame oil. Okay, so now let's making dumpling filling first. So now we chop the pork. Okay, now let's chop the green onion. Cut the root first and cut them in the middle. Cut them. Okay. So now let's add them into the ground pork. Next, we're gonna chop the cabbage. Cut the root first. Cut them in the middle. And then cut them. So let's put this cabbage in our ground beef. So now we have the last step to make our dumpling fillings. Put all the salt, sugar, soy sauce, sesame oil, and our garlic. Now we mix them. Mixing. So now we are almost done. Grab 1 teaspoon of dumpling filling. Get some water, put them on the edge. Make a circle. So now take one edge and the opposite. Pinch them together. And the corner first. And side. Pinch them together. 2 to 3 times. And then this side, corner first. Side 2 to 3 times. And close up the ceiling. Now our first dumpling is done. So now it's oil. Let's put our dumpling inside. So we're gonna wait about 5 minutes and then the dumpling will be done. Okay, so now our dumpling is fry up and they're ready to be eaten. Let's see. Now our dumpling is ready. Let's try it. The sauce have vinegars, sesame oil, soy sauce in it. So let's try it. They're so tasty. This is how you make dumplings.
So Lei, how long have you been making dumplings?
It's been like 10 years almost.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like when I was a child, my grandparents taught me how to make dumplings, but I don't really know how to make real dumplings back to that time. So I was like playing around with the dove skin and everything. But when I was in middle school, I learned how to really make dumplings because I took one cooking class and they taught me how to make real dumplings.
And that's awesome.
Yeah, and that's where I falling in love with cooking.
Okay, and now has the recipe for making these dumplings been passed down in your family, or is this kind of your own little twist?
How to say that? It's not really passed down from my family.
Okay.
It's more like a combination of my family recipe and my school recipe and my experience as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so these dumplings look so good. Would you be willing to show me how to use chopsticks so we can have a bite of these tasty treats?
Yes, of course.
Okay, let's get to it.
So balance your chopsticks first.
Okay.
And use your point finger and your thumb. And then use your ring finger here.
Okay.
And then do this.
Okay.
Like tie them together.
Okay.
Move
Go
forward
closer.
a little bit.
Oh, move
Forward a little bit. Yeah.
like that?
There
Okay.
we go. Yeah.
Balance these out.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you can use them. Like
Okay.
this.
Perfect.
Yeah. So if you feel comfortable, you can like actually put a hole here. That's like much more easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's try it.
All right. This is so good.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, these are amazing. So, when do Chinese usually eat dumplings, and what do they really represent in Chinese cultures?
So we eat dumpling every winter time. It's like a hot thing because dumpling is like boiled from water, so it's hot. And after we finish dumpling, we can actually drink the soup.
Oh, okay.
So it's like very nice for winter time, especially for Spring Festival. So during the Spring Festival, family will like sit together and make dumpling together, and then enjoy the family culture and happiness, warmth.
Now, do you miss having that kind of family time with your parents at home, or do you like finding new places at Temple to kind of try new places to eat dumplings and stuff?
So I have my own cooking show. So I love cooking. So I'm a diehard fan of cooking. When I back home like 3 years ago, so it's been 3 years. I've never like come back from like China. So it's like I love the way my family do it. So every Spring Festival I will like celebrate with my friend and cook our own.
So can you tell us a little bit about the history and origin of dumplings?
Yeah, sure. So it's actually back to 1,800 years ago. It's in Chinese history, and there's a guy named Zheng Jingzhang. He found out lots of people are like very cold during the winter time because people are like really poor. So he tried to help them. He wrapped mutton, chili, and some herbs inside a dove skin to boil them, and then gave this to the poors. And the poors found out that's amazing taste, and it's really helpful for them to warm up during the winter time. So people ask him for the recipe, and they learn from him. So that's actually how the recipe passed down.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and showing us how to make dumplings. I just want to say, again, thank you to Lei. And now that we had a chance to enjoy an authentic, tasty treat, we hope our program has opened your mind to new and different cultures. After listening to the experiences of international students, the Temple University community might be able to understand each other better. I'd like to thank all of our guests for coming out and our crew for putting together a fantastic first show. Until next time, I'm Katie Bandish. Have fun exploring Temple University and the world.